listing workshop. Thanks so much for coming back. I'm telling you right now, you're doing fabulous. If you've made it this far, you're doing great. Good for you. So what I want to do, quick review. What did we talk about last time? We talked about buyer and seller mastery systems. That's what we're taking you through. There's actually a system to how to present to a buyer, present to a seller. What we talked about as well is we talked about how to do the buyer consult. Remember we had the little role play we took you through there? Hopefully you gained some ideas from that. We also talked about focusing on the concept of educating. Remember, we talked about selling is what? Selling is influence. And what are you trying to influence them to do? Make a decision that is in their best interest. And what is one of the most powerful influencers? It's educating the prospect to what it is they don't know so they can make a better decision. We also talked about informed buyer guides. We talked about informed seller guides. So what we're going to get into today is a listing workshop. And we're going to take you through the 3 stages, okay, of a seller consult. So we want to take you through. So stage 1 is this. It's about establishing authority as soon as you get there. It's about setting the stage. It's about managing expectations. It's about asking questions, okay, and doing a tour of the home. So go ahead and take a look at this. Listen, Ralph and Naku, it's great to be here with you, and I appreciate the opportunity, and the reason I do is because we know there's lots of real estate agents out there, right? And so you get a lot to choose from, I understand that, so I appreciate the chance to be here. What I want to do is I want to take you through what the agenda is going to look like and what we're going to do, so I laid it out there for you. And basically what's going to happen is I want to start out by talking about your needs and goals. I want to figure out what it is you really want to do so that I can help you achieve those. Then the second thing I want to do is I want to take a tour of the home, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Once we finish having a look at the home, then I want to come back and I want to sit down, and one of my goals is I want to help you understand what's going on in the market. Now there's a lot of information out there. I understand people are on the internet, you know, they're reading the news reports about real estate, but let's face it, not everything in the news is always true, so I want you to understand your specific market. Next thing I want to talk about is exactly the best way to qualify a real estate agent. Because in a lot of cases, people aren't quite sure how to qualify a real estate agent. So I'll sort of bring you up to speed, and what I'm going to suggest is probably the best way to handle that. Once we've done that, I'm going to talk about my qualifications. Then I'm going to get to pricing your home. I'm going to talk a little bit about our strategic marketing, how we're going to expose your home. And when we get to the end, hopefully we'll be able to make a mutual decision that's best for everybody. Sound good? Great. Wonderful. Well, Ralph, I was speaking with you on the phone a few days ago, and I asked you a number of questions. And what I want to do is I want to review those questions, and I'll tell you why I do, because I was only speaking with you. And quite honestly, we know who makes the decisions in the house, right? Yes, I understand. They say, happy wife, happy life. You know what I mean? So let me just review those. So first of all, you said you wanted to move closer to the city. Is that right? Okay. Now, why do you want to move closer to the city?
Just work. Commute is really difficult. Sitting in traffic.
I understand. So how long does it take you to get down right now?
About 40 minutes.
40 minutes?
Yeah, one way.
Yeah. Wow. So you're looking at an hour and a half every day. Multiply that by a couple hundred days a year. That's a long time, right? Yeah. Great. Now, have you been out looking around at all yet?
No, just online.
Okay, so you sort of just been online. So then you haven't bought anything?
No, we have not.
Okay, so it sounds to me like what you want to do is you want to sell first?
We talked about it. Yeah, probably sell first.
Okay, good. Reason being, you want to sell first? Like you haven't even looked around? What are you thinking?
I think that we just want to make sure that we know exactly how much money we have to spend, right? Yeah. You know, it's so crazy making that huge decision without knowing how much we have for our sale price, right?
I understand. Okay, which by the way is the best way to do it. You're going to know your closing date, you know how much money you got in your pocket, and then you can go in and make a firm offer, which quite often you're going to make a better deal when you buy. Now, do you have an agent in the area you want to buy in?
No, I mean, we've talked to Bob, but
yeah.
Not really anything yet, no.
Not really.
Just a phone call.
Okay, very, very good. Now, when I was speaking with you, you said you have another real estate agent, and I know I just happened to call you out of the blue, right? Because I listed that house down the street, but you have another agent, and it's Bob, and you've already spoken with Bob, is that right? Okay, good, and you're sort of leaning that way. That's sort of what I felt.
Yeah, Bob is a mutual friend. You know, we've known him for about a year or so, and
Okay.
yeah, he's in the business, so.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, great. Well, we'll talk all about that. And I say the best thing to do is, this is your most valuable asset, right? And if you're going to sell your most valuable asset, it makes sense. You probably want to hire the best qualified person for the job, you know, get the most amount of money for your home. So I'll take you through what it is I do, the results that I produced, and hopefully put you in a position that you can just make an informed and educated decision as to what's best for you. That's all I want to do.
That's perfect.
Great. Now, when I was talking to you on the phone, you said you thought your home was worth about $750,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been at open houses and stuff, and
Okay.
it seems about.
I read the paper as well. I see what's out there. And on MLS, we're on MLS all the time.
Yeah, I know. Everybody is, right? Which is great, right? Keeps you up to speed in what's going on. Now, in terms of a closing date, I know we were speaking on the phone. You said you were looking at around 90 days, but it sounded to me what was most important is you wanted to make sure you got moved before the school year. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Is there anything else I should know? Is there anything else you want to tell me just to make sure that, you know, I'm up to speed in what's
I
going
know
on?
we have a trip booked for first week of June, just for a few days. I don't know if that'll impact anything at all, but
First week of June?
yeah.
Very good. Okay. I'm curious too, what are you looking for specifically in a real estate agent?
Honesty is very important.
Okay.
Yeah, we want someone that we can trust.
Okay.
We know definitely want the home to sell.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, someone that's honest and trustworthy, definitely important for us.
Okay, very good. And I'm just wondering, have you thought about selling it yourself, or have you pretty well committed to the idea that you want to use a realtor?
I don't think that this is the right way to do it, so.
Very good.
Yeah.
So at this point, what I'd like to do, I'd love to have a quick look at the house if you don't mind, but a couple things I want to ask you. Number one, I want you to take me through the house, and I want you to show it to me as if I was a buyer. The reason I want you to do that is I want you to point out everything you love about this particular home, because first of all, I've got to create brochures. I've also got to sell other agents on it and sell buyers on it. So I want to share with them what you loved about this house and why you bought it, right? The second thing, and I need your permission for this, if we're going through the house, and if I see something that you could potentially change, okay, that would cause your house to sell in maybe a shorter period of time or for a little more money, would it be okay if I mention that?
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, great. Like, quite often they're positive, but sometimes it might be a little negative, and that's why I ask permission. But again, you know, we've got a stager that can help us out, but I might make some suggestions as we go through, so that's great. So if you're all ready, let's go have a peek. Welcome back. Well, what did you think? So hopefully you got some notes, hopefully you got some ideas, and remember what I said before. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. But what I want you to do is I want you to see better ways that you could do it using your personality and some of your ideas as well.